So this video is about Ayahuasca 82. I find my pipe right in front of me. Ceremony 82. A lot of laughing again, but not quite as much as the last hilarious last Friday, a week ago. It's Friday today. So when I crossed the threshold last Friday, obviously that was insane and hysterical and didn't know what the hell was happening to me with the energies. And then, I can't really remember, I talked about Monday, Wednesday. So Wednesday's ceremony, 2 days ago, very interesting. Maestro said, unusually, I've never heard anyone say so plainly to a group, and the three of us are in there. There's me, Dan, and anyway, the three of us. And Maestro said, tonight I'm going to give you a lot of protection. We're going to go around with Mapacho, explaining for sort of Dan's benefit really, because he's new. And give you a lot of protection because, you know, often there are bad spirits and sometimes bad shamans who try to send bad energy and to disrupt the ceremony. And I thought, oh bloody hell, that's because I wasn't going to tell Dan about what happened on his ceremony on Monday when we got attacked. I said, I'll tell you Saturday, I'll let you complete your journey. But yesterday I told him anyway. I said, well look, Maestro told you all that, told you last night what it's about. So what happened in your ceremony? I told him about the being attacked. So that was a kind of interesting for him. He handled it well. He's just has to accept what I say really, because he's new. But he's very, oh I see, wow, interesting sir. He's a lovely guy. So we went to the zoo today. So he saw the anaconda, which I'll put up in a minute. I filmed him with the anaconda. Which freaked him out. He didn't want to get near it at first. Certainly not sit in front of it. And of course, it skins. Anyways, that's the other video. So, Wednesday. Another important ceremony for me, getting connected to 3 more plants, which I don't know what, but probably Bobinsana, judging by what happened. Because it was beautiful. When he sang... did he do I think the video I put up of his Icaro might have a bit of the Bobinsana song at the beginning of it. I'm not sure now, because I recorded the whole thing, or well, second half of it, to get that nice song. Pachamama está de fiesta. So it's still in my head. I've been singing it all day, listening to it. I'm trying to learn it. I'm going to try and write the lyrics down, get them corrected. But anyway, this particular vision, when he sang this song, it was just incredible, right next to my head. But so in this video, this side, for me in real life, obviously it's this side on my left, because the video is mirrored. So from my perspective, like the head of the Bobinsana spirit came through the wall of the Maloka right next to my head, and there was another one about 6 feet away. And that same essence of the beautiful pink flowers, the colour of pink and white. And they were singing along with Maestro as he was singing his Icaro. And then they'd stop. They'd do a couple of lines, but then they'd stop singing. And then they'd continue on. It's really weird, and it was weird voice, the strangest voice sound. It was bizarre, I can't describe it. But they were singing exactly the same lyrics as him, but just in a weird... So now I know what a plant spirit's voice sounds like. It's bizarre, but it was beautiful. And it was such an up-tempo, beautiful song. And again, I was just ecstatic. This is fucking amazing, just laughing. Oh, wow. And then what else happened? Papa Julio came down again. I didn't see him this time, but I was aware of his presence. Because me and Maestro, there's a form of telepathy that goes on with the clients. They don't know it. It's one way. The shaman knows what's happening with them, but they wouldn't be able to hear. I've never had it until I went across the barrier, the transition. But me and Maestro, you're actually telepathic to it. But without you don't talk in each other's head. There's a knowing. And at one point, I was in cleaning, heavy cleaning. I think it was Wednesday, really heavy. Was it? No, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was pretty heavy. But things getting stuck, and Mama showing me that cut on my back where the demon sliced through my spine, and showing me a vertical view of a cross section again, but where the scar was like luminous colours, like a grid, like a, I don't know what you call it. It was like a long oval shape where the blade cut through my body, and it was highlighted in rings of colours with the spine at the centre of it, very elongated. So anyway, so that was weird. I told Maestro about that, and my back was killing me that night, you know, as it's being healed. That's what happens, you know. I had really bad backache when I moved. Like, oh fuck, that place where my back went, that's where the sword went through. It's exactly the right place. It's higher up than my old damage, so it's new in the spiritual sense. Weird. So that was one thing. And then when Papa Julio was down and I was vomiting, Maestro was talking to him in Spanish, whispering in Spanish, and of course I can hear Papa Julio's answers in conversation in Spanish. Don't understand much of it, and they're whispering and using, you know, quick Spanish, so I can't understand much of it. But when I was vomiting, I was kind of saying to both Mama Ayahuasca and Maestro, this bad energy from the residue of all my attacks from that bad spell from the Thai witch. This is, Mama told me, that, look, you're spiritually you're completely healed, but there's residues left in your body, and this is what the cleaning, why the cleaning's so hard. You've still got the residue, and it's part of the eczema, you know, on my arms, which is being cleaned, just this type of stuff. But it was stuck, and I was it wouldn't come up, and I knew I had to be sick, but I didn't feel like vomiting. I was just like, oh, but I do in a way, but it wasn't like forced out like it is most of the time. So I was kind of asking, oh, Maestro, a bit of help, you know, can you, like, you know, give it a dig and get it going? And I heard Papa Julio, I just knew that Papa Julio was talking to Maestro, just said to him, no, don't help him. He's got to do it himself. I was like, okay. So I got on all fours, and then I was fingers down the throat and just willing it to come, and it would come up. That was really funny. This was the start of the funniest event of the evening. Because when I finally started to move, it came up, but there was something that felt like solid, which is like a spiritual solid thing. It's not food, you know, it's not food because you hadn't had any food. Like for lunch, I haven't had anything. So there's nothing actually solid, it's just liquid with ayahuasca, but it feels, and something got stuck in my throat. It didn't come all the way, it came up to my throat and then wouldn't come out, and then went back down. But at that same time, Maestro was talking to Papa Julio, and it got stuck in his throat, because that's, you know, how it works. So he just was like, and then it went back down again. And then I had to do it again. It got stuck again. So that went down, and then eventually I got it out, and then, you know, a load of vomit came up. So that was that section. And then later on, the funniest thing that happened, I was in stitches because I dropped this pedo, a fart, and it stank. And this is the remnants, because my guts should be really clean with all the ayahuasca diet, but this fucking fart, I got a whiff of it and it stank. And at the same time, again, Maestro was whispering to Papa Julio, and the transference of the bad energy to the Maestro. I was mid-sentence, and he just heard him go, and just spat in the bucket and went, yeah. And it just cracked me up. I was fucking pissing myself. He'd had to gob up this fucking horrible fart. It was killer. So I was pissing myself, and at the end of the ceremony as well, I just started laughing again. I apologised. Sorry, Maestro, for my fart. When it got stuck in his throat, I was just dying. And I had the laughing fit. But mainly the ceremony wasn't that funny. It was kind of laid back and kind of difficult. It was a lower key atmosphere, but again, listening to Maestro's, trying to concentrate on Maestro's Icaros just to learn them, and sometimes whistling along with the bits that I know. And There was a vision, a strange vision I'd forgotten in the last video. It might have been Monday. I'm not sure now whether it was Monday or Wednesday. But all of a sudden it was like looking from a big spiraling galaxy from a long distance away in space. It was doing nothing, and I was thinking, this is boring. What's the message here? I wonder. You know, it's like, I don't know what's this supposed to be. But eventually, it's like, no, what's the point of this vision? What's the message? And then eventually, it kind of just went into the middle of it, and then it was like in space, and then this fucking great big asteroid with its tail streaming out the back. And the next thing, the view turns with it, and I'm looking at it from behind, but with the Earth right in front of it. It's like, what the fuck? And it was heading, I got the view as it went away from me, and then the Earth came closer as well. It was heading straight, sort of like for the equator of Africa. So, and then again, the message from Mama about, you know, I mean, it's what I believe, so I'm not saying it's, you know, a message from Mama. You know, I believe that Hancock's theory is right, because we know about the meteorite strike 12,500 years ago. You know, but Mama basically saying, especially, which is quite interesting at the moment, with obviously the nuclear business going on in Russia. And Mama saying, won't be allowed allow humans to use nuclear weapons because of the hangover of 10,000 years of radiation and stuff damaging the rest of life and preventing life from returning quickly. Like, you know, the floods would come with a meteorite strike, and yes, it'd be devastating. All life most life would be wiped out, all the big animals. And again, like last time, there'd be pockets of hunter-gatherers left alive in various places to rebuild, and as everything grows back and the storm stops, say after 1,000 years of chaos in the atmosphere, but it's a meteor. It'd be sent. If we're on the verge of going way too far, and especially with this business with the war and the nuclear weapons, she'd hit us first. That was kind of like the message. She'd hit us first with a meteorite. You know, hey, it's just a vision. But it was really vivid. So that was interesting. A couple of I can't remember them now. I remember quite a few this morning, but it was generally the Bobinsana just took the stage. It was so beautiful. So I take it that's and Brian also said that he actually saw the plants dancing. And Maestro had said at the start of the ceremony, he said, I'm going to try and give you a nice present tonight. And of course for me, it's all a present because my ceremonies are just wonderful. Full cup again. But different for the vomiting, taking it upon myself, because normally you don't drink water through the ayahuasca ceremony until it's ended. But obviously now in my situation, I make these decisions for myself because I just have to, and I kind of know what I've got to do. I just know. And when this stuff was stuck in my guts and it wouldn't come, I just drank the water. It was near the end of the ceremony. It was probably 3/4 of the way through or more. I was still heavy vomiting, tried getting stuck stuff out, and so I drank a glass of water. Asked Christian out to knock on the floor. He'd fallen asleep. Knocked on the floor. Came over, said, more water, please. And he brought another cup, and I drank that. And then 10 minutes later, I was ready. Maestro was still singing Icaros, and then forcing out more dark energy. And then I also had my personal Icaro. Oh, to connect me to Pinon Colorado. That was it. And that was different. That wasn't kind of that pleasant an experience because Pinon Colorado is quite a strong shamanic plant. It's used for shamanic dietas, say within number 8, something like that, quite late on in the process, before you'll get given Pinon Colorado as a dieta. And the energies that hit me when that was being sung to me, and I was sitting upright for Maestro, and he was shaking the shikaps over my head, and the energy when it hit me, and I'd only just vomited not long before, and I thought, I was thinking, God, I might have to vomit again in a minute. There's this energy, because it wasn't what you call pleasant, but it was just strong and nice to know that I'm attached to that particular plant, having done the dieta and finally getting attached correctly. So tonight's going to be interesting too, because it's the last 2, which I don't know what they'll be. Only one I know will be Mapacho, because it's the most strongest, so it's going to be the last one to be attached to me, so that will be interesting. So that, again, after Pinon Colorado and the others that were pleasant and seeing the plants dance, the first 3 I don't know what they were, I thought it was Bobinsana the first time, but with the Bobinsana last night, the whole dance, I think that was probably the connection. Or maybe because I'm connected to it, I could see them. The connection's really strong for last ceremony. And when he sang the song for Bobinsana for the other guys, and obviously for me, but for them maybe for their first time to feel love and open the heart, I got the show of the actual spirits of Bobinsana plant. It was beautiful. It was amazing. There's lovely pink, strange things popping through, sticking their heads through the wall of the Maloka and singing with the weirdest voice, really strange, alienish kind of voice, but speaking the lyrics quite, clearly. It was amazing. They popped in a couple of times doing that. It was just really. Oh yeah, that was another weird thing. I suppose reasonably early on in the process, I was in visions, and something like an animal, but it wasn't an animal spirit. It looked like some kind of four-legged animal, and it was big, probably like the size of a donkey, but its head was close to its body, but like a block shape. It was like a brick, just a concrete block. It was dark grey, but it had no eyes, just two black holes for eyes, and it was just kind of one leg forward with its front legs, just one leg, and it stopped maybe, like in my vision, it seemed to be about 5-6 feet away. And I was just looking at it, and this thing was just looking at me. And in the vision, obviously I'm lying this way, but my vision's looking at this thing next to me. And I'm looking at this thing, and it's staring at me. So I'm staring back in my vision, thinking, what is that? And then thinking, is this bad spirit or not? I didn't feel threatened or anything. So I was just staring back at it. And it was just staring at me. It didn't come any closer. It just stared at me, like really boring into my eyes. And I was just boring back. I was like, what are you? What do you want? And then after a couple minutes, what seemed to be a minute or two, I was really curious about this thing because I didn't try to dispel it. I was just I just didn't know what it was, and I was curious. So I didn't, do and blow it away or anything. I was curious. But then I sat up on my elbows actually and opened my eyes. And of course, you can't see anything in the darkness. I can't see it or anything with my normal eyes. But I'm still looking at this thing in my vision. And then, but when I went up on my elbows like this, I felt kind of the bit of the hairs on my shoulders and my back go up, and then I thought, no, I don't like that thing. So I sat upright with my head like really right angles, looking back at the area trying to look with normal eyes to see if I could see anything also. But so I was just staring at like in the space where it was, and at that point Maestro just flicked he was talking to Papa Julio again. And he just his light flicked up and he must have seen me just staring, like at right angles to him, just staring into space. And he clocked immediately, because all of a sudden when he flicked his light and saw me staring at this thing, he just went and just blew this thing out of the way. So that was interesting. What else? I don't know. Can't think of anything else. Second cup was offered, and again I said, yeah, I need a second cup, but really tiny amount, just to kick me off so that I get the cleaning done. So I'm going to do the same again tonight. It's probably going to be another hard night maybe for me, but got to maximise it because Maestro's away for 2 weeks. The retreat's closed, and I've got to check money in a minute and see where I am, because I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. I don't want to sit in friggin' Iquitos in that hotel room till January, until Maestro's free to maybe go with him and do a dieta a whole fucking month through Christmas, New Year, sitting in Iquitos, just doing nothing, without having something to work on. So the only thing I'm going to do, I've got a piece of paper, I'm going to try and work out the lyrics from that song, write that down, learn it on guitar a little bit at some point, maybe, I don't know, buy a cheap guitar, I don't know, I just don't know what to do. My visa's up on the 12th, Maestro's not coming back here till the 16th, so depending on what the money situation is, I might just have to come back and do another week, I'm very clean now, though, very clean. So much. Well, Monday was fucking horrendous. Vomiting 10 times and diarrhea about 7 or 8 times. Fucking clean. But Wednesdays was a bit better, but I'm still wide awake, tripping quite nicely. Not really heavy, but it was continuous. And I was awake till 5:45 in the morning. It's the latest I've ever been awake on Wednesday. It was a really tough night. It's only got like 2.5 hours sleep. I was a zombie when I woke up just as Christian was arriving. Hey, Mr. Steve, your breakfast ready? And I was like, fuck. It was just like, oh my God, I just want to go back to sleep. I couldn't. And when I got up, I really, knew I wanted to eat breakfast. The fruit bowl was really good. Huge bowl. But I was a zombie walking down to breakfast. It took to eat the food before you start getting the energy back, and then came back, lay down, but knew I needed a shower, and that kind of freshened me up, so that was good. And then, what's really interesting now, having crossed the threshold, is after vomiting and so much, and then just laughing at it. Except when it goes on, like it's getting in the 3rd, 4th hour, it's really you're exhausted after that kind of levels of vomit and diarrhea. Yeah, and you're getting tired. The ceremony's wearing off. The ayahuasca's wearing off. But it's the ability to recuperate, and of course it makes sense because when shamans vomit in ceremony, they may have if they have a big puke, they might have to sit down, have a break for a minute, but they come straight back with a really strong icaro. And that's starting to happen to me. The ability to recuperate after vomiting is just so much quicker. Just 10 minutes and then back to feeling good, having nice visions, singing along to Maestro's song or in my head, or whistling bits that I might know a little bit of. And of course the visions are really powerful. But, being able to see the plant spirits is just absolutely wondrous. So can't wait to tonight. But there's so much I need to want to learn and do, but just everyone's got their own routine here. Like Maestro needs to sleep during the day, like everybody should, for the afternoon before a ceremony, or he's tired out the day after, and just don't get a chance to talk to him, between my own rest periods and his, and so I can't get really any more information. That he's not like all shamans; they just don't volunteer and say, right, Steve, you're at this level. It doesn't work like that. So, this is what you should be doing or you can meditate on this, or you just don't get any instruction. So it's really frustrating. And of course, it's so expensive. And I'm really, down, getting low on money as far as the next, and then it's an overstay. So it's just a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. It's the path, and Mum is deciding what the path is and what's going to happen next. And for the first time, it is just completely in her hands. Something will crop up for me to be doing, and I don't know whether to fly out. But if I leave, I won't be able to come back in for months. I'm toying with the idea of maybe going up to the Brazil border again, seeing that little immigration office. I forgot. Yeah, I was thinking about this a while back, wasn't I? About going to an immigration office in Iquitos and see if they'll let me see if they can tell me exactly how many days and whether I can stay more or what, or they'll say no. If you it's already been told coming in, if you don't leave, if you overstay this time, you'll pay. But that's what they always say, because they're actually quite good here. They're not like Thailand where they're really officious and you've got to stick to the rule book. Peru doesn't really care, because it just means you get less time the next time you come in. If you've used all your time, and when you leave, you just pay the overstay fee. It's $3 a day. It's money I can't afford anymore, because it ends up being a month or two ends up being. Fucking $3 a day is $90 for a month overstay. And if you stay for a couple of months, it's another couple of $100 that you've lost. And I've already lost the flight at £350, which should have been yesterday, going to Costa Rica. So that was a blow. But again, dark energy, bastards. Making me want to get the fuck out. I should have waited until I'd just done the retreat and then booked the flight. But I was so keen to get out. I just wanted to come back here and see everybody, have a last retreat. And of course, wow, the most important one. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have transcended and crossed the shamanic threshold. And it's been just wonderful. I'm just so happy, just laughing, so much laughing. But not so much last ceremony. It was a low energy kind of state, a lot of it. There was some giggle fits, but not like the beauty of the week before, leading into the Friday, and then Monday was good, laughing a lot. But Wednesday was heavier, and just getting exhausted, I suppose. You can't sustain it probably. You can't sustain the energy of your body. You need to rest. So I, ate a lot yesterday to recharge. Every meal, big meals. What a beautiful fucking line of melody. So I can't remember anything now, really. So anyway, it's done. I'll leave it at that. So no point labouring over it. Yeah, that's pretty much the important visions. There were, the usual. There's a lot that goes on in the ayahuasca ceremony, but there's been a lot of talking. I mean, we went to the zoo today for Brian, and of course being with him on the boat. Oh yeah, that was the only thing that was different. He was pretty straight when he left, because when he got offered the second cup, he he's a sensible guy, and he was having a nice ceremony. He said no, he didn't want to push it because he had half a cup, and he didn't take the second cup. And I thought, well done, you've listened and you're sensible. Just because the second cup would change everything, it'd be really hard. So he still hasn't vomited. But tonight we were talking just at lunch, or in the boat. That's right, in the little canoe boat thing. And I said, yeah. He said, what are you going to do tonight? And I said, you should push the boat out, really. It's your last night. He said, well, yeah, I'll probably have a full cup. I said, yeah, maybe, I think you should. I said, but not the second cup. don't ruin it. He said, no, sir. So anyway, we'll see what happens about how he fares. And that's it.